Good morning, peeps. Joe Bernstein here, and I'm here to talk to you about a true story from something that happened to me this morning. So, a lot of the time when I'm working with people, a lot of our work, and this is my internal work too, like I'm never done with this part of working on myself, but a lot of our work is to disintegrate, devolve, or evolve and shift the part of ourselves that are really dependent on external validation, that are vain, that are caring a lot about what we look like to others, and are always looking for outside approval and reward and award and affirmation. The work is to build this sense of core confidence with ourselves, to have an internal orientation that we don't care that much about what we look like, especially when it comes to doing something bold, right? Like I've got a client, I just got off the phone with my first client of the day, and he's in a huge stretch in his career growth. He's taken on a gigantic new role, and it's putting him under a lot of pressure. He's got a lot more decisions to make, he's got a lot more people to manage. And so naturally, if he's worried about what he looks like, if he's worried about making everyone happy, if he's worried about, you know, not making any mistakes, then he's going to fuck up pretty bad. Or he's going to do everything right, but he's going to be so tense and anxious that life won't feel good. So we're working on devolving that, and I've got a lot of practices and processes to do that, and so I'm always in this mix, right? And but at the same time, I'm not cured, I'm not healed, I'm not all the way there myself at times. So this morning I felt the gym, and let me set up the scene for you, right? So I've been a little frustrated, been a little up and down with my weight for months now, and I'm like mostly at peace with it, but the last couple of days I haven't been that at peace. So I really wanted to put in a hard workout today. So I signed up and I went to a 6 a.m. high intensity interval training class, which is pretty normal for me. I almost always go to this class, and I wanted to go and do a little extra weight training afterwards. Um, so I get there and I'm at the class and I'm doing my thing. And one of the very first moves is these like toe taps, where you're going side to side and you're doing like quick feet, where you're tapping your toes onto this bench, and you're going left to right. Right? And it's a move I've done dozens and dozens and dozens of times. It's part of one of the first warm up sequences of this class I do all the time. It's pretty old hat. It's easy for me, but it takes a certain amount of coordination. It takes a certain amount of focus on the body. It takes a certain amount of focus on feet and on the bench. And I made the mistake of right towards the very end, since I have been a little worried about the extra couple of pounds around my waist. I roll my eyes out, but I know it's natural. I went ahead and looked up and looked in the mirror to see how bad I looked in the moment. And of course, the moment I look up, the moment I take my eyes off of the bench, off of the task at hand, the moment I take my attention off of my body, the moment I take my attention off of the process that's helping me create a better version of myself, and the moment I look up, I start thinking about what I look like in the mirror, what I look like to others, how this shirt is fitting me during this exercise, guess what? Boom. Fell on my ass, like literally just fell backwards. And of course, brushed myself off and had like a second of embarrassment, laughed about it for a second, and got right back into the next exercise. But I just thought it was this amazing metaphor for our truths of life. When we are trying to improve ourselves, when we're trying to grow, when we're trying to be our best self, when we're trying to find peace, find love, find aliveness, find excitement, when we're connecting with our values, when we're starting a business, when we're in our relationships in life, when we focus on what we look like, those are the moments that we fall down. Now, I'm not saying you should never orient towards what you look like to others. I'm not saying that we shouldn't think about our own self-image and the way others imagine us. But I am saying that when it's time to focus on a tough task, a task that takes a lot of orientation to self, a task that takes a lot of focus on the process, a task that has intricate little details, takes balance emotionally or physically or socially, it's not the time to stop and look in the mirror. When we do is when we fall down, or when we fall backwards, or when we slow down, or when we have a setback, or when we stop doing the thing that we know is valuable, that we know is powerful, that we know is moving us forward. but it just might not look right to others. So we slow down. So my challenge to you is, just for today, can you stop worrying about what you look like, especially when it comes to the tasks of creating the life that you want? And can you focus on what you're creating? Can you stay focused, dedicated, committed, mindful of the growth path, of the process, of the details, rather than worrying about what it looks like in the mirror or what you look like to others? So I hope that's a helpful metaphor and a helpful story. I did literally fall on my ass this morning. If you have a story like this, or if you can relate to this experience, I want you to go ahead and drop a comment or an emoji, GIF, something like that down below. It would be fun to know that I'm not the only one. I'm not alone as someone who sometimes looks up into the mirror or worries about what he looks like and falls down or gets taken off path. That's what I got for you today. Have an awesome day. I'm coming at you with another one here because I'm full of ideas today. Peace.